Hi, my name is Mariana Pinal. I'm a student in the PCNE group at the High School Centro Histórico León. I chose the Natural History Museum because I have always been a fan of the city of London and all its architecture. This museum features in a lot of movies, and I always loved the way it looked and the few things you can see inside. In the past few years, I've been investigating by myself the different exhibitions and decided that one day I will visit it. London is one of the largest cities of the United Kingdom, and it's one of the most important in the world because of the impact in art, education, fashion, tourism, and transportation. It has a diverse range of people and cultures. Its first name was British Museum Natural History until 1992. The landmark Alfred Waterhouse building was built and opened at 1881 and later incorporated the Geological Museum. The collection began to form by Sloane's personal collection, like dried plants, animal, and human skeletons. In the beginning of the 19th century, most of the Sloane collection had disappeared. Another collection that the museum had was the one of the conchologist Hugh Cumming. The Natural History Museum, shown in a wide-angle view, has an ornate terracotta facade made by Gibbs and Canning, limited typical of high Victorian architecture. The terracotta moldings represent the past and present diversity of nature. The Natural History Department needed more space, and because of that, they needed to build a new building, separated from the British Museum. They bought the land in South Kensington. Alfred Waterhouse designed the facades in his own idiosyncratic Romanesque style. The work began in 1873 and was completed in 1881, and they completed to move everything until 1883. In 1866, the heads of the Royal, Linnean, and Zoological Societies, as well as naturalists, including Darwin, Wallace, and Huxley, signed a petition to the Chancellor of the Exchequer asking that the museum gain independence from the board of the British Museum. In 1963, the British Museum became an independent museum with its own board of trustees, but it wasn't until 1989 that the museum publicly rebranded itself as the Natural History Museum. The museum absorbed the adjacent Geological Museum of the British Geological Survey because of the limited space. This happened in 1976 and it became famous for its exhibitions of an active volcano model and an earthquake machine. It was designed for the museum's collection of tens of millions of preserved specimens, and also for the new workspaces for the museum's scientific staff and new educational visit or experiences. The Phase 1 opened to the public in 2002 and it shows the Zoological Department's spirit collections. The Phase 2 opened to the public in September 2009 and shows the entomology and botanical collections. The most famous creature in the center is the 8.62-meter long giant squid, nicknamed as Archie. It's an important part of the Darwin Center Phase 2. It meets to communicate science, education, and conservation work. The studio holds regular lectures and demonstrations, including free natural life talks. The museum is divided into four sets of galleries or zones, each color-coded to follow a broad theme. It's a gallery themed around the changing history of the Earth. It shows specimens of rocks, minerals, and gemstones behind glass in a dimly lit gallery, and another similar that you can touch. The exhibitions are Earth Health, Human Evolution, Earth's Treasure, Lasting Impressions, Restless Surface, From the Beginning, Volcanoes and Earthquakes, and the Warehouse Gallery. It follows the theme of the evolution of the planet. The gallery shows birds, creepy crawlies, fossil marine reptiles, Hind's Hall, minerals, the vault, fossils from Britain, Any Room, Investigate, and East Pavilion. This zone explores the diversity of life on the planet. It shows things like dinosaurs, fish, amphibians, and reptiles, human biology, images of nature, the Jerwood Gallery, marine invertebrates, mammals, Mammals Hall, and treasures in the Cadogan Gallery. Enables the public to see science at work and also provides spaces for relaxation and contemplation. It shows wildlife garden, Darwin Center, and zoology spirit building. DP was one of the most famous and prominent exhibits. It's a 105-foot long replica of a Diplodocus carnegii skeleton. The cast was given as a gift by Andrew Carnegie. He paid €2,000 for it. The pieces were sent to London in 36 crates, and on 12 May 1905, the exhibit was unveiled to great public and media interest. In 2017, DP was removed and replaced by the skeleton of a blue whale. DP is now at Norwich Cathedral. Hope is a blue whale that hangs from the ceiling, some 82 feet long and weighing 4.5 tons. Was only made possible in 1934 with the building of the new whale hall. The whale had been in storage for 42 years since it stranded on sandbags at the mouth of Wexford Harbour Island in March 1891 after being injured by whalers. So this is all for the video. I hope you got to know a little bit of this gorgeous museum and liked the way I introduced it to you. Thanks for your attention.